If you don't recognize the landmark Fallingwater by its name, you probably recognize it from its look. Chances are you've seen this building in a photo at least once before because it's a very famous building and a piece of architecture in general. It's famous for the way that it looks and the way that it's designed to hang over a river with some cute little waterfalls, and as you guessed it, today we are building it in Minecraft. So let's get right into it. Here we go, starting off with a beautiful little blueprint. As always, if you watch my channel, you know you gotta start off with a good blueprint. Honestly, any Minecraft build, you gotta start off with a blueprint, so that should be second nature. That should just be obvious here. But anyways, we're getting started here on the actual building itself, and then we're gonna kind of come back and work on the stuff around it. But here is the actual building itself. I started off at a 1:1 scale, and then I quickly realized that to do the interior on this at 1:1 scale wouldn't really fit too well, so I decided to up it to 1.25:1 scale. I know, daring today, aren't we? But I probably should have just gone to 1.5:1 scale, looking back at it now, but you know, hindsight 2020. I'll probably go 1.5:1 scale in the future on my builds if I want to increase the scale, because 1.25:1 it's alright, but 1.5:1 is probably just a better scale in general to use for individual builds specifically. But anyways, I'm rambling. We're making the building here. We're making the freaking piece of architecture. It's looking nice, and like I said, we're starting off with the actual building itself and then kind of sculpting the ground around it. And I didn't know how much of the grounds around that I wanted to actually make, because this thing is pretty much just in the middle of a forest on the side of a hill with a river going through it. So I didn't want to make an entire mountain for this thing to sit on. So I ended up just making a little bit of a kind of like it's like a diorama, I guess. It's a little chunk of the hill just cut out and pasted into a super flat world. That's kind of how it turns out. But there's the actual main building there, a good chunk of it at least. And now we're coming up to a little lesser known building. This is the guest house of the actual house. It has this sort of walkway kind of creeping up to the guest house area. In real life, there is actual ground there. It's not just floating. There you go, we're getting the ground in. So it's not just floating there in real life. And there is the driveway up to the guest house area. And now I'm actually coming in and filling in the ground area, so it's not floating in the middle of freaking nowhere. But there we go. We are coming in and adding in the driveway, and we are making this thing look beautiful. I think the trees and the foliage and the bushes really make this thing come together in the end. Obviously, the house is pretty cool looking, but the trees and everything is kind of what gives it the ambiance and the vibe that it kind of has in the pictures and stuff. So in a minute here, I'll get some trees and bushes pasted in here, and it'll really start to come together. And there we go. Starting off with the bushes is looking fantastic. And while we're doing the bush work, I might as well go ahead. Let's just go ahead and plug the Discord. We're doing some fun stuff over on the Discord. I'll advertise my Discord every freaking episode of whatever I do on this channel. And I know in the last video, you guys said I say freaking too much. And I know, but I'm still going to keep saying it, and there's not a thing you can do about it. So anyways, join my freaking Discord server. How about that? We're having a great time over there. And while I was advertising and ranting, I went ahead and started placing down the trees. And as you can see, it's starting to look a little bit more full and a little bit more pretty. And I also added the water in the falling water section. As you can see, there's a nice little waterfall, and it's looking pretty great down there. It's looking real cute and nice. And now I'm texturing up the grass, and I'm adding in some bushes to cover up the ground here, because in the forest it's not just smooth old ground with a little bit of grass. There's usually some underbrush, some big tall annoying bushes all over the place. So that's what I did right there. And then I filled in all the space with trees. I had some pine trees and then also some deciduous leafy trees in there, just to get a little more diversity in here. And then I'm going to come up and, okay, I guess we're gonna do that in a few clips in the future. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're working on the interior right now. That's what we're working on. So you can see I had a few references to go off of here. Most of them were 3D models, but a few of them were actual pictures. So in some of the parts they were kind of contradicting each other. So I tried to do what I thought looked best and also most realistic. So this is pretty realistic. the actual rooms are realistic. The furniture might not be 100%, but that's okay. It's the overall vibe that we're going for, and it is also a pretty small interior, so there wasn't really much to do. That's the interior already done, so there's that. And then here's the last little itty bitty clip here. We're adding a pool to the guest house, which I missed looking at the blueprints, but then I quickly spotted it in one of the 3D models. So we have a pool here in the guest house. That's pretty nice. And just like that, we have this nice, beautiful cinematic time. And this was a quick little build here, obviously, but you know what? It's just you don't need to have banger 10 million block builds every week. So sometimes the smaller little builds like this are needed to be appreciated. So here we go. We got nice cinematics for Fallingwater here. I hope you guys enjoyed this short little video. I had fun making this nice little house. It's a nice little architectural masterpiece here, so it was fun to be able to recreate it in Minecraft. But enjoy these cinematics, guys, and I hope you stay tuned for the next video on my channel, whatever that might be. And until then, guys, have a great day and goodbye. And let me give a final thank you to my beautiful patrons. Thank you all so much. You are the best. Thank you for supporting me. And a big thank you to my $10 supporters, Voe, Walker Army, and King Salmon. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day, and goodbye.